What's up everyone, it's DarkSpyro here, and today I'm coming at you with another Fallen of Albaz Buster Blader profile. My apologies that this is not the long-awaited combo tutorial, but as you all seen, VERTE got hit on the ban list, so I kinda had to revamp this profile for you all. I'm already working on that combo tutorial, and why I'm gonna be delaying it just a little bit longer is so that we can obviously go through an updated deck profile, and this deck profile will correlate exactly to the next combo tutorial. But that's not all you have to look forward to. When I announce that combo tutorial, we're also gonna be announcing the winner for a giveaway for this playmat. If you want to win this playmat, all you have to do is comment down below your favorite Fallen of Albaz card, and of course make sure you are a public subscriber. And then of course on the combo tutorial in 2 weeks time, I'll be announcing the giveaway winner, so make sure you get your comments in within this time frame, because a couple days before I'm gonna need time to edit, so I will be doing a cutoff date and I'll be making a post on my community tab. So make sure you stay notified, turn on the notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already, and like this video if you really like it, because we're about to dive on in to an updated version with no Dragoon for Fallen of Albaz Buster Blader. So if this isn't your first time on my channel, then you're probably used to me doing my profiles a certain way. We're gonna do something a little bit different this time. We're doing the monster lineup first, and we're kicking it off with the Buster Blader core. And of course we have our main searcher of the whole deck, 3 copies of Buster Whelp the Destruction Swordsman. Aside from being the main searcher in our deck, he is also a level 1 Dragon Tuner, and we have another level 1 Dragon Tuner here. This is Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, also known as the Extra Deck Lockdown. People feared this when Union Carrier was still around, but we can still use it in our archetype, so we're safe. We're going to move on to the next one, which is the level 3 Wizard Buster Destruction Sword. So unlike the previous two, he is not a level 1 or a tuner monster, not even a dragon even. He is a dark spellcaster. He's got a pretty good graveyard lockdown for your opponent's monsters, as long as he's equipped to a monster. Aside from that graveyard lockdown, he does have another effect, which is pretty sweet. It says you can send this equipped card to the graveyard, then target 1 Destruction Sword monster in the graveyard, except Wizard Buster Destruction Sword, add it to your hand. So Protector Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman, the Link 2, can also be sent back to the extra deck with this card. I like running both of these for more lockdown, but he actually serves another purpose. With shooting Riser Dragon, we can turn Riser into a level 4, so if we have a level 4 on the field such as Rocket Recharger, we can go in and make another level 8 synchro that way. Of course, you can't play Blader without the main man himself. We got 1 copy of the retrain, Buster Blader the Destruction Swordmaster. Before you all start to be afraid, saying, wow, Spyro's only playing 1 of these, is he contradicting himself in this video? No. We are in fact playing 2 copies of Buster Blader on top of this. Let's go. I've seen people arguing in the comment section saying I play this for nostalgia. I'm gonna say it right now very clear. You need sufficient targets to run multiple prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. It sends for cost. The cost is a Buster Blader monster. If you want to use prologue more than 1 time, you're going to need at least 2 Bladers or 2 of the retrain. Or if you're me, you'd like to add this one to hand, maybe send these guys to grave. This way, if you do turn them into dragons, you have some big beat sticks. We're also playing the fusion spell, so if they're in your hand, you have this and your spell in the hand, or you have the set spell. You can easily super poly your opponent with this card. You can't do that with this. There's lots of good reasons to actually play this card. It's not just for nostalgia, but obviously the anniversary arts do look beautiful. For the rocket monsters, we are playing 2 copies of Rocket Synchron. You could probably play 3, maybe only 1. Personally, I liked playing 2 because I do have Quick Launch and Wararthau as a 2-card combo. So if we open with a Rocket Synchron, I want another one in the deck, and it's just a good card overall. It's a level 1 tuner. For the level 4s, we have our 2 tuners right here. We have 2 copies of Rocket Tracer. You can play 3 copies of Tracer. Obviously, it is a really good card. It could be a starter, it could be an extender, just about anything you need. For multiple names for Boot Sector Launch, we're playing 2 more level 4s. We're playing 1 Rocket Recharger, which is pretty standard. A lot of people like to play Recharger in this package. But I'm also playing Silver Rocket Dragon. Now, if you were to just look at these cards at face value, stat-wise, if you have Boot Sector Launch on the field, Rocket Recharger is a 2400 defense monster that's only level 4. That's pretty good. Silver Rocket on the other side, he's got 19 base attack for a level 4 monster. You throw that 300 on Boot Sector Launch, then he's a 2200 monster. So at face value, level 4s with good stats are usually really good, but the effects on top of that are also very great. A synergy to make like Savage or a Buster Dragon, whatever level 80 synchro you want to make. For the level 7s, we're playing 1 copy of Absolouter Dragon. If I was playing Dragon Shrine, I would be really tempted to play 2 of this, or even something like Foolish Burial. I don't want to brick on having 2 in my opening hand, so it's just a a really good extender if I have it. And speaking of extenders of that similar nature, we have 2 copies of Noctovision Dragon. I know they're not really rockets per se, but if you look at the artwork in comparison to the rest of them, I would say they're honorary rocket monsters. Really good extenders. You go into Striker, it's in your hand, or a special any Dark Dragon, get a special from your hand, so you can make a free seals. When it's linked away, you get to draw one. Very good card. He's got 3 good built-in effects, but you can't be bricky, so just 2. For the Fallen of Albaz package, it's actually fairly small for the monster lineup. We're only playing 3. We got 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz and 1 copy of Albion the Shrouded Dragon. I'm actually fairly tempted to play 3 copies of Albaz in this deck, but I don't want to open with 2 of them. If I have 1 I'm going second, that's not a bad thing, of course. Usually my game plan is I want to get Heretic Seals out there, then he is my special summon target, and then you just steal their monsters, fusion on their turn, etc, etc. If you don't know what Albion the Shrouded Dragon does, it's fairly simple. It's just an extra draw when it's bricked in your hand. Obscure draw power, essentially. If it's in your hand, you can send an Albaz or a card that lists Fallen of Albaz from deck to grave, send this to the bottom of your deck, and then add another card. You can also send like a Fallen of Albaz from hand. If you do that, you can special summon it. You can also use this effect from grave, so like if he's in the grave, you send an Albaz, you put this on the bottom of your deck, but if you do that way, you don't get to draw a card, so it's usually best used if it's in your hand as a brick. For the combo starters in this deck, we have 1 copy of Black Metal Dragon and 1 copy of Starlier Seifert. If we don't open Buster Whelp, which is obviously the greatest normal summon in this deck, these can eat normal summons, but they're also good seals targets. But if you don't have a Buster Whelp, they can also save you because you link him away into a Striker. You can get Darkness Metal, the Dragon of Dark Steel, which is obviously a good 2-card combo. A lot of people do that in Dragon Link. Another one with Seifert is you tribute it off for a level 4, and you could add, say, a White Dragon Wyver Burster or Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. Typically the play there is you tribute him off for him, and because he's a dark, you banish the Seifert. Then when he goes to grave for Striker Dragon, you get to add Wyver Burster, special to go into a link too. Just free ways to go to Heretic Seals fairly easily. For the remaining extenders, I like to call this my Chaos package, but I showed you most of it already. This is just Omni Dragon Brotar, Mono Dragon Zernatron, and Chaos Dragon Levianeer. I like to call these guys the family. They're all fairly similar artworks. They all have similar effects too. Mono Dragon Zernatron is typically Arsene for Shooting Riser Dragon because he's a level 6, and his effect is like Brotar, but for spells and traps, and it works from the hand or grave like Brotar. Everybody knows Levy. Levy's just good destruction power against your opponent. Could disrupt them by taking a card out of their hand. Could special back. Could just be an overall extender. So usually this 3-card package can come in pretty clutch. It's optional. You don't need to play this. I like to play Riser. So for Riser, I have a level 6 and a level 3 target. Be sure that I can actually achieve some of the synchro summons on their turn. For the last 2 monsters in the deck, we're playing 2 hand traps. We have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. I am almost tempted to throw Effect Veiler in here, and I do have Nibiru in the side deck, but everybody's side deck is different. Otherwise, I usually just run the 2 Ash Blossom for now. So that's it for the monster lineup. That was 30 monsters, but to continue with the hand traps, we have 3 traps here. We got triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. I count this obviously as both as a great trap card that when it's set, you can lock down your opponent's column and obviously negate their monster effects. Or if you have no cards on the field, you can put one down and just be like, nope, it's pretty much an Effect Veiler, which is awesome because they cannot get this with Call by the Grave. Call by the Grave stops monster effects, so if you use Effect Veiler, they'll just negate it. If you use Imperm, they cannot because it's a trap. I also like it with Trap Trick. It has a little bit more versatility, so if I have a Prologue and a Trap Trick, I can turn Trap Trick into an Imperm. But speaking of the traps, we have a couple more here. We have triple Prologue, the Destruction Swordsman, as I like to call the win button, 2 copies of Destruction Sword Memories, and the aforementioned Trap Trick. So that is a total of 9 trap cards. That is not too bad. So if you know how to do math, there's only 11 spells. And we'll start off with the draw power here. We're playing 2 copies of Chaos Space. Realistically, you can get away with 3 copies, but I don't want to overbrick them. It's kind of bad feels, so having 2 is nice. You still get that good chance of opening one, and you don't always need it. And when you do get one later, you have a bunch of banished cards. We have cards like Destruction Swordsman Fusion that if it's in the grave, we can discard a card, add the fusion to our hand. You might have noticed that I didn't put these in with the Rocket package, but like I said, we're doing the profile a little differently this time. We got 1 copy of Boot Sector Launch and 3 copies of Quick Launch. These are all fairly self-explanatory, but just in case, Quick Launch is just essentially a special summon for the Rockets from our deck. Pretty sweet, it's not once per turn. And like I said, Rocket Synchron's a level 1, so we are playing Where Arfthou, very amazing. If you special summon Rocket Synchron, you play Where Arfthou, you add Buster Whelp, your normal Buster Whelp, you have full combo. This 2-card combo I've showcased multiple times. If you guys have missed it, if not, you could even try throwing another Where Arfthou in there and just making it a 40-card deck and going around that. It is really good. I've turboed it out like that before. This is a little bit different of a direction, so if it's here, it's here. If it's not, it's okay. For another extender, and a 1-of course, we have 1-for-1. It goes well with Where Arfthou as well, just like the quick launch. So now instead of only 3 quick launch, it's like we have an additional one. You can also bring out Black Metal Dragon or Omni Dragon Brotar with this for even further extenders. For our fusion spells, we got 1 Destruction Swordsman fusion, as I mentioned earlier. It's a super poly that is searchable, and you can recycle it back from your grave. We also have 1 Branded in white. This is just an additional fusion card for us. And if we discard it to activate the effect of Fallen of Albaz in the end phase, we get to set it, and then that means we could use it on our next turn. And our very last 1-of in the whole deck is Call by the Grave. Like I said, 11 spells. There are a whopping total of 50 cards in this deck. Don't be afraid of that though. It kind of hides the bricks really good, and there's so many different 1-card combos, 2-card combos in this deck that if you get any mixture of them, you're usually good to go. And there's a couple of good negates in here. Like I said, there's Call by the Grave. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. But you can't open with it if you don't play it right. Let's move on into the extra deck next. So I'm going to lay out the entire extra deck out. That's why I have the camera zoomed up for this little episode here. We're going to start with the Link monsters like we usually do. We got 1 copy of Striker Dragon for a Link 1. For our Link 2s, we got Protector Whelp, Heradic Seals, and Needle Fiber, of course. And our last Link is the Link 3, Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. If you don't have them, don't worry. You can play Borosword Dragon instead. And with Borosword Dragon, you can actually go into Seals with it. Pick your poison there. It's more budget option, but I pulled BLS a long time ago. Love BLS, so I'm going to stick with BLS. And next up for the Synchros, we got 1 copy of Shooting Riser Dragon as our level 7. This goes in tandem with our Crystron Halki Fibrax. It is a very cool combo. You can end on Seals and Needle Fiber in Prologue. Your opponent's going to see some really crazy stuff, and I love being able to constantly play on your opponent's turn like you're doing some Trickstars type shenanigans. So let's go into our next one here, which is the level 8 Synchro Borreload Savage Dragon. A free little Omni Negate, easy to make, it's generic. And we got our 2 MVPs of the deck. Buster Dragon turns our opponent's field into dragons, so we can complete our lockdown with Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. And our last Synchro monster is Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Another Omni Negate is a 3200 beat stick. If we have, say, Savage out there runs out of negates, you can turn Riser into a 1. Use Savage and Riser to make a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. Or if one of these came out on Prologue and you're like, oh, I don't need this no more, you can use them and make a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss that way too. I've been running this package for a while and I just can't seem to get away from it. It's really fun. But in the side deck, there are a bunch of ways to mess around with it. So you can pull out the Needle Fiber package, or you can pull out Savage, whatever is not really helping you that game. And to finish off this extra deck and the deck profile, we have our fusion monsters. Let's start it off with our 2 copies of Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. He is definitely the ace and poster boy of the deck, alongside Fallen of Albaz. And speaking of which, we have a couple of Fallen of Albaz monsters that we are still playing in the main deck. We have 1 Albion, the Branded Dragon, and 1 Lubellion, the Searing Dragon. I've seen a few comments again, people saying, oh, this is barely an Albaz deck. That's the point. There's not too much in here, but it has enough that we're taking advantage of it, and it's very good. It has great synergy with not only the Dragon Links, but with our Buster Blader stuff as well. We have more Albaz stuff in the side deck, so depending on what our opponent has, let's say they're playing a very, very extra deck heavy deck, we want Mirror Jade in our extra deck, we can toss it in, or what I like to play, we play like a 5-headed dragon just to really mess our opponent up. You got Buster Dragon out there, super poly for their monsters. With the Albaz, it's really fun. But our last fusion monster is in fact Borreload Furious Dragon. Borreload Furious Dragon has a quick effect destruction, where you can target 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. So typically we'll make him off of either Albion or Lubellion, and then we'll pop our Albion and one of our opponent's cards, and then in the end phase we use the effect of Albion, and we can add the Branded White to our hand. So it's a lot of cool synergy, and who does not like a 3k beat stick There's 2 Dark Dragons, which is generic to make in this deck, and has quick effect destruction. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you guys really liked it, then let me know down in the comment section if you like this style, or if you want me to switch back how I usually do my deck profiles. Of course, let me know that too. And like I said in the intro, we have a giveaway for this awesome mat right here. And all you have to do to enter is subscribe. Make sure you're a public subscriber so I can see it. Comment down below your favorite Fallen of Albaz card. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to announce the winner. So just stay notified, and obviously turning on the notification bell would not hurt to do so. But that's just about it for this video, and I wish you all the best of luck on the upcoming giveaway. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you can know when the giveaway comes out for this playmat. It is a free entry. All you have to do, like I said, is comment down below your favorite Fallen of Albaz card, and make sure you're a public subscriber so I can actually select you for the giveaway. All of this being said, I am very sorry from the bottom of my heart that you have to wait a little longer for that combo tutorial, but if you know me by now with my content, I try to make sure that everything is actually worth it for your viewing time. I want to make sure you leave these videos with some type of knowledge of this Buster Blader archetype. Until next time, everybody, I hope you all have a wonderful day.